Hi there. It's time for Through the Bible in a Year, Day 2. And we're reading 4 chapters out of Genesis today, chapters 4 through 7. And this Through the Bible in a Year series, it's done in chronological order as the stories and events actually occurred. So it might not go exact chapter to chapter, but we'll get the whole Bible read in a year. So let's jump over there and we will get into it. Cain and Abel. Now Adam knew Eve, his wife. That's one way to say they laid together, huh? And she conceived and bore Cain, saying, I have gotten a man with the help of the Lord. And again she bore his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, and Cain a worker of the ground. In the course of time Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground, and Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering, but for Cain and his offering he had no regard. Well, so Cain was very angry, and his face fell. The Lord said to Cain, Why are you angry? Why is your face fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? What's that note right there say? Will there not be a lifting up of your face? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is contrary to you, but you must rule over it. Cain spoke to Abel his brother. And when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and killed him. With a rock, we know that, right? The Lord said to Cain, Where is Abel your brother? He said, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? And the Lord said, What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground. And you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you work the ground, it shall no longer yield to you its strength. You shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth. Cain said to the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, you have driven me today away from the ground, and from your face I shall be hidden. I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer of the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me. Then the Lord said to him, Not so. If anyone kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord will put a mark on Cain, lest any who found him should attack him. Then Cain went away from the presence of the Lord, and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. Where is this at? Nod means wandering, land of wandering. Cain knew his wife. It didn't say where he found his wife, does it? And she conceived and bore Enoch. When he built the city, he called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. Enoch was born of Irad, and Irad fathered Miguel, and Miguel fathered Methushael, and Methushael fathered Lamech, and Lamech took 2 wives. The name of one is Ada, and the name of the other is Selah. Ada bore Jabal. He was the father of those who dwell in the tents and have livestock. His brother's name is Jabul, and the father of all those who play the lyre and the pipe. Selah also bore Tubal Cain, who was the forger of all instruments of bronze and iron. The sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. Lamech said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice. You wives of Lamech, listen to what I say. I have killed a man for wounding me, a young man for striking me. If Cain's revenge is 7-fold, then Lamech's is 77-fold. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, and Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son and called him named Seth. For she said, God has appointed for me another offspring instead of Abel, for Cain killed him. To Seth also a son was born, and he called his name Enosh. At that time people began to call upon the name of the Lord. This is a book, Adam's Descendants to Noah. Well, this is going to be long, huh? This is the book of generations of Adam. When God created man, he made him in the likeness of God. Male and female he created them, and he blessed them and named them man. When they were created, when they were created. When Adam had lived 130 years, he fathered a son in his own likeness, after his image, and named him Seth. the days of Adam after he fathered Seth were 800 years. He had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. Wow, Adam lived 930 years. That's a long time. When Seth had lived 105 years, he fathered Enosh. Seth lived after he fathered Enosh 807 years, which means he was like 913, and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Noah were 912 years, and he died. When Enosh had lived 90 years, he fathered Kenan. He fathered Kenan 850 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Enosh were 905 years. And when Kenan was only 70 when he had his first Mahalalel, Kenan lived and fathered Mahalalel 840 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Kenan were 910 years. And his son Mahalalel lived 65 years and fathered Jared, and lived another 830 years. Thus all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years. Wow. And when his son Jared had lived 162 years, he fathered Enoch. Another Enoch. Jared lived after he fathered Enoch 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Jared were 962. See, now here's Enoch, son of Jared. Let's come back up here. Cain killed Abel. I'm looking for Cain's first son. Yeah, see, Enoch again. So Cain had a son named Enoch, and Jared had a son named Enoch. And Jared lived 962 years. Wow, long time. And when Enoch had lived 65 years, he fathered Methuselah. We know about Methuselah, don't we? Enoch walked with God, and after he fathered Methuselah 300 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Enoch were 365 years. It's very young, huh? Enoch walked with God, and he was not. And he was not found, for God took him. When Methuselah had lived 187 years, he fathered Lamech. Methuselah lived after he fathered Lamech 782 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Methuselah were 969 years. He was the oldest person in the Bible. He lived longer than anybody else. That's why they named Methuselah. You hear that around? Older than Methuselah. When Lamech had lived 182 years, he fathered a son and called his name Noah. Out of the ground that the Lord had cursed, this one shall bring us relief from our work and from the painful toil of our hands. Lamech lived after he fathered Noah 595 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Lamech were 777 years and he died. After Noah was 500 years old, Noah fathered Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So he was 500 years old, probably 560 or 70 before he started building the ark, right? Increasing corruption on earth. When man began to multiply on the face of the land, and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw the daughters of man were attractive. Now these sons of God, these are the angels that were cast down to heaven with Lucifer or Satan. Right? And they took as their wives any they chose. Then the Lord said, My spirit shall not abide in man forever, for he is flesh. His days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim, which were the giants. So, and this has recently come out, because it's never been really studied, but they're starting to find archaeological evidence of giants that lived on the earth. You know, they found them in the past, but they've always hidden that. So when Satan took a third of the angels down to earth with him, you know, and the angels are very strong, they're very powerful, and they're very tall, and they're very pretty, and they took wives, earthly wives, as, you know, earthly women as wives, and had children with them, and those children were giants. Okay. It would be very interesting to do some DNA studies and stuff of some of these giant skeletons. Well, okay. I got on a tangent here. What's this? Yeah. My spirit shall not abide in man forever, for he is flesh. All the days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of man came into the daughters of man, and they bore children to them. These were the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. They called them heroes, and men of old, heroes. It's believed that Goliath was one of these Nephilim, children of that. He's very, 9 or 10 feet tall. And there's been entire studies on this one part of this verse. Mighty men of old, men of renown. That's where a lot of the Greek gods came from, was from these Nephilim. Hercules. Okay? Just to name one. Okay. Verse 5, the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intention of the thoughts of his heart were wholly evil continually. And the Lord regretted that he had made man on earth, and it grieved him to his heart. So the Lord said, I will blow out man whom I have created from the face of the land, and animals and creeping things and birds of the heavens. I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. Okay. Well, can you imagine? You don't know how many people. I mean, there could have been billions then, too. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his generation. Noah walked with God. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight, and the earth was filled with violence. And God saw the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And God said to Noah, I have determined to make an end of all flesh, for earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and out with pitch. That's a lot of tar, huh? This is how you're to make it. It is the length of ark. The ark 300 cubits. Let's see what this is. It was about 18 inches or 45 centimeters. So 300 times a foot and a half is, well, that's, about 450 feet long. That's long. And its breadth is 50 cubits. That's a foot and a half, so that's like 75 feet wide. Wow, that's huge. 400 feet long, 450 feet long, and 75 feet wide. And its height is 30 cubits, or 45 feet high. It's a big place. Make a roof for the ark and finish it to a cubit above, and set the door of the ark on its side. Make it with lower, second, and third decks. So it had 3 stories. For behold, I will bring the flood waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, in which is the breath of life under heaven. Everything that is on the earth shall die, but I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And every living thing of all flesh you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark, and keep them alive with you. There shall be male and female, of the birds according to their kinds, of the animals according to their kinds, of every creeping thing on the ground, according to its kind. 2 of every sort shall come in to you, to keep them alive. Also take with you every sort of food that is eaten, and store it up. It shall serve as food for you and for them. See, so it says he did feed them. He didn't. A lot of people think that God shut the animals' mouths so they never ate, but they did eat. He was a store of food for them, for everything. And you got to remember, he wasn't on the ark 40 days and 40 nights. He was on the ark for about a year and a half. So that's a lot of food. Noah did this. He did all that God commanded him. And the Lord said to Noah, go into the ark, you and all your household, for I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. Take with you 7 pairs of all clean animals, the male and his mate, and a pair of the animals that are not clean, the male and his mate, and 7 pairs, or 7 of each kind, of the birds of the heavens, also male and female, to keep their offspring alive on the face of the earth. For in 7 days I will send rain on the earth, 40 days and 40 nights, and every living thing that I have made I will blot out from the face of the ground. And Noah did all that the Lord commanded him. 7 of each kind. Noah was 600 years old when the floodwaters came upon the earth. And Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives went with them into the ark to escape the waters of the flood. Of clean animals, and of the animals that are not clean, of the birds, and of everything that creeps on the ground, 2 and 2, male and female, went into the ark with Noah as God had commanded Noah. After 7 days the waters of the flood came upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month, on that day, all of the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the windows of heavens were opened. Okay, now we talked about this before. The windows of heavens were opened. Now, I believe, and it's been proven, in the atmosphere there used to be a layer of water under the firmament. And it served as a filter for the sun, which I think is why, it blocked out a lot of the rays. And that's why people lived, so many hundreds of years before God changed that. But yeah, so now all the water that was up there, he released it to come down to the earth. And everything was covered in water. You can go to the highest mountain on earth and find evidence that it was once under water. Okay. I was on a tangent again. The 17th, all the fountains poured forth. When is it open? We're on verse 12. And rain fell upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. On the very same day, Noah and his son, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them entered the ark. They and every beast according to its kind, and all the livestock according to their kinds, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth according to its kind, and every bird according to its kind, and every winged creature. They went into the ark with Noah, 2 and 2 of all flesh, in which there was the breath of life. All those that entered, male and female, all flesh, went in as God had commanded them, and the Lord shut them in. Okay. The flood continued for 40 days on the earth. The waters increased and bore up in the ark, and it rose high above the earth. The waters prevailed and increased greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the face of the waters. And the waters prevailed so mightily on the earth that all the high mountains under the whole heaven were covered. Right? Highest mountain. The waters prevailed above the mountains, covering them 15 cubits deep. So 15 cubits is, 15, 6, 7, 8, 9, 22. Yeah, like 25 feet over the highest mountain. And all flesh died that moved on the earth, birds, livestock, beasts, all swarming creatures that swarm on the earth, and all mankind. Everything on the earth, everything on the dry land, in whose nostrils was breath of life, died. He blotted out every living thing that was on the face of the ground, man and animals, and creeping things and birds of the heavens. They were blotted out from the earth. Only Noah was left, and those who were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed on earth 150 days. So, he was on earth for 150 days, which means he had enough food on the ark for every animal and for their families for 150 days. That's a lot. That's a lot. So that's day 2, or 2-7. Getting into a lot of history, I had no idea that that Enoch, there was 2 Enochs, there was Enoch, Methuselah's father was Enoch, and Cain's first son was Enoch. There's some weird stuff going around. They found another book of the Bible, the book of Enoch, and if there is a book of Enoch, it would have to be Methuselah's father Enoch, the one who walked with God, and not Cain's son Enoch. That would be weird. So there you go. That's day 2. And it looks like these studies are all going to go around 20 minutes, unless I get off on tangents and talk about stuff. But there you have it. We'll continue this. This is cool. Day 2 of 365. So, have a good day. We're learning a lot. See you later.